Greetings, my dear SIEP coordinators and my personal advisor, Ms. Dr. Aini Ayati. Today, I am here to present my SIEP completion report. I am Ravindran Rajan and I am a final year student from SBT FBKT. Hereby, I have completed my SIEP 2021, so I will be sharing and presenting my findings and learnings from my fellow interviewees. Hereby, I was tasked to complete two objectives by the end of the SIEP program, which are to provide students with exposure towards knowledge of entrepreneurship and to ensure students are able to apply business management skills by generating business ideas. I believe I have completed my task. Today, I will be presenting myself with two agendas. One will be my interview sessions with my entrepreneurs. Second is the BMC presentations. Therefore, I have totally broken them down into 4 different subcategories. I personally chose the third mode, which involved the online interview. So I chose 4 different small and medium entrepreneurs and interviewed them, followed by a construction of SWOT analysis based on the information given, and I chose one of the best entrepreneurs to write down an entrepreneur profile. Here I have my 4 interviewees. First is Mr. Satish Waran, the owner of Coffee Story. Second is Mr. Mat Ismail bin Yusuf, the owner of Budu Chap Ketere. Third is Mr. Raihan, the founder of Cookies Dookies. And finally, Mr. Rajkumar, the founder of RK Hertz Resources. In this slide, I have categorized my interviewees based on their entrepreneurship strata. Student entrepreneur, which is Mr. Raihan. Freelance entrepreneur, which is Mr. Rajkumar. Service entrepreneur, which is Mr. Satish Waran. And finally, the manufacturer, which is Inche Ismail. Now, we are moving to our next agenda, which is SWOT analysis, to find out our entrepreneurs' strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. In this slide, we are going to discuss about Satish Waran and his coffee story. Based on the SWOT analysis, his passive strength is his strategic location, which is located near the campus itself, thus attracting many of the regular customers such as staffs and students. Whereas his weaknesses are during the semester break when the students are no longer in the campus, thus disrupting his company's regular customers. He also mentioned that the opportunities is by improving businesses by producing new products and expanding his brand by franchising. He also mentioned that as of now, the repetitive manuals and the pandemic is the largest hurdle and the threat to his venture. In this slide, we're going to meet Mr. Mat Ismail bin Yusuf, the owner of Budu Chap Ketere. His biggest strength based on his SWOT analysis is his brand, whereas his weaknesses are in terms of resources and also the contamination rate that happens during the fermentation. In terms of opportunities, now he gets to expand his products into variants and also export these products to abroad such as Vietnam and Thailand. Whereas threats is the cross-contamination rate is higher that disrupts the quality assurance of these products. Is Mr. Raihan Zulhafiz bin Hishamuddin Lee. He's a student entrepreneur who is also a founder of Raihan Zulhafiz Entrepreneur, Cookies Dookies. Based on his SWOT analysis, the strengths are the strong supply and customer relationship in person, and also unlimited order delivery through postage or call on delivery. Weaknesses are the lack of capital to expand his current business, and also self-employment causes energy drain between his study life and also his business. Opportunities are explore more product in line. As of now, he is only selling cookies, but he is up to find new products to sell. Threats are too many competitors for the same products, profit margin are too thin, lack of cookies, variant innovation, quality of product regret due to storage environment. Finally is Mr. Rajkumar, who is the founder of RK Hertz Resources, who happens to be running a successful business consultant agency. Based on his SWOT analysis, his strength is a great customer relationship and networking, whereas he is also a certified consultant agent. But his weaknesses are that he has a strong competition among the same field and limited accessibility to governmental document guides. Next is opportunities, as he is able to upgrade his own portfolio based on the gathered experience and communication skills are enhanced. Whereas the threats is a lack of brand recognition and the pandemic restriction by movement of customers, thus reducing his welcoming. My next agenda is the BMC presentation, which includes the intro to my BMC and also the BMC presentation. My company is called as BIOENGINEERING Sdn Bhd, and my primary objective is to recycle the polymer plastics and to produce bioplastics. We, as humans, have a nature of handling plastics, which is use and throw. Instead, we forget to think about the amount of bottles we alone accumulate which does not degrade over time. My idea is to minimize plastic and over time to recover our earth from the plastic pollution through recycling and production of bioplastics. We shall start recycling our plastics to save resources for our next generations, and my company will process them appropriately and repurpose them into useful stuffs. This is the general and the overall BMC that I have done for my company, and I will explain detail of each segment in the next following slides. First of all, the value proposition. For my company, it creates a social value where it creates a new line of job opportunities. Secondly, economically, manufacturers cut costs for new plastic production, and I repurpose plastics to a new line of packaging materials. New stream of incomes for biomass producers. For example, agricultural waste can be used to produce bioplastics. Scarcity reservoir of fossil fuels can be delayed, and a closed loop recycling is enabled to various sectors. For example, Nike company here, the thermoplastics are being converted back to Nike products. Next is the customer segmentation, relatively very crucial in a business plan. The first is identifying the major customer base and the target segments, which is convenience stores, supermarkets, foods, and beverage stores to replace with bioplastics. And secondly is a large scale of manufacturing companies. I can offer them packaging materials that can be produced from recycled polymers. And next is the automotive sectors, which the rejected parts can be refurnished for other uses such as tools, stationeries, and household products. Third is the channel. In my company, I would like to use websites, brochures, public relations, distributing channels, and reverse logistics. Next is the customer relationship. I should prove through data of pilot scales to buy the trust of investors. Second, eco-labeling to validate environmental value, such as the quality of the bioplastics or recycled plastic is being ensured and environmentally friendly too. And third, is educating customers such as manufacturers and investors on bioeconomy. Bioeconomy is largely growing and will be the major line of sectors in the future. Revenue stream. My company is able to generate revenue through two different categories. First is investment of financial capitalists for the R&D, and second is the major revenue, which is sales of bioplastics and recycled polymer plastics to manufacturers and others. Key partners. There are several key partners in my company, such as agricultural waste supplier for the waste, byproducts, and rejected feedstock to produce bioplastics. Next is a collaboration with large-scale manufacturers who are extensively dependent on the packaging, so I could offer them recycled plastics. Support of academic institutions or research universities for the further optimization and the process of recycling and bioplastics. Second is support from government and local municipalities for diplomatic permissions, lying with the environmental policymakers that does not disrupt the environment due to high energy input. In my company, the key resources are securing the supply of byproducts, waste, and recyclable plastic from the agriculture waste, intellectual resources from the universities or research institutes, continuous power sources and utility from the municipals, finally the machines and equipments. Key activities. We will encourage innovation. There will be no more throwing of plastics, but to repurpose them into new useful stuffs. Second is facilitating the reuse and recycling of biomass. Third, inducing a paradigm shift in use and control culture. Finally, is the quality and performance evaluation. This is a new and commercial attempt of making bioplastics. The evaluation of the strength of the bioplastic should be always observed. Finally, the cost structure. Negotiation for costs for biomass and feedstocks in production of bioplastics, maintenance of equipment and machines regularly, ensuring the cost-efficient operation and production, optimizing the financial and distribution, promotion and advertisement of the products. Thank you, and that's all for me.